Welcome back to the Strength Culture Podcast, number one in the hearts, number one in the charts. We haven't got Jay Smith here, but we've got Jay STOUPAS, Charles, and young Didier here. I've taken Jay Smith's spot. Squad is right, something like that. I reckon I'm feeling empowered. I'm feeling I got them big boss energy.
If you're an audio listener, you might be a bit rattled because you're used to the soothing sound of Mr. Jay Smith, but it's a bit different today.
Yeah, we're going to see Buzz is going to turn into the Stanford prison experiment. Do you know what that is?
Nah, he's going to start beating us.
They did that prison experiment in like the 70s where they wanted to set a jail and they had the guards and the prisoners, and the guards went full like psycho.
Like
and
they
started,
weren't guards, they were just regular people.
And it was a study. It was a college study.
Yeah.
And then there was a real like big controversy with it. The people running the study wanted to let it go, and so it became real unethical. And like these guys went full nuts, took the power, and just like fucking beat
I
them.
already feel like the power's getting in my head.
It's fucked.
If any of you fuck around, I might have to crack one of yours. But either way, we got Jason STOUPAS here, the HUSLA hot off the back of Breakthrough. Yeah. How was your performance, man?
Hot.
Hot?
No, it was a ripper day. PB'd on everything.
Nice.
Got a national record. And honestly, and most importantly, I had probably the most fun I reckon I've ever had at a comp. Yeah, which was, I think that was due to just, not putting so much pressure on myself. I reckon it was, wasn't there to win, just there to have fun. And it felt good. We're taking the piss out.
Usually when you have fun, you do better anyway.
Generally, yeah.
Yeah, you just enjoy it and have fun and fucking...
Less pressure. Yeah. It's all for fun. It's supposed to all be fun anyway, you know?
Why do you feel there was less pressure? It's obviously a big comp. There was a few heavies there. How come?
I mean, usually we're trying to fucking beat someone. You know what I mean? And I was already getting beaten. You know what I mean? I'm in different fed with Pat Morrison, absolute beast. He was always going to take that away.
Manlet.
So I didn't go there trying to win. You know what I mean? Plus, I think as well, I had like probably the shittest prep ever. I think 4 weeks out, we decided that I was going to follow through and do it because my shoulder was off chops and everything was kind of hurting. There was no expectation to, the numbers weren't really that much in my head as usual, which was good. And I think that's how I'll continue to compete because, it just showed me a new side to powerlifting that doesn't have to be so stressful. It doesn't have to keep you up at night. It doesn't have to make you hate certain parts of the process. So, it was sick.
Did you come in with goals? Did you have numbers in mind, or you just like fuck it? We'll just see what we're going to go for.
Yeah, all right. So I got two little bits here to touch on. So my spreadsheet with all the comps on it, they had some big numbers, which we didn't get. But the comp prep, I had some numbers. We had 290 for squat. We had bench my shoulder was off chops the whole time. So I was happy with just an equal PR of 165, which we ended up beating by 2.5 kilos. Probably had another 2.5 there as well. And deads, I'd done 340 in training, and I thought that this is actually a really good conversation to have here because I had some thoughts about it. We got 340 in training, and I thought that I'd be able to do a 340, 350 on the day. Got there, and they were using a different barbell, a Goliath barbell, which is shorter. I'm not sure if it had any difference, but obviously heavy squat. I got 285, so 5 kilos under planned, 2.5 kilos over planned for bench or over what I thought I could do. And then deadlifted 335, and I thought I would have had 340, 350. And what I was actually thinking on the day, and I actually spoke to a few people about this, I reckon when you come into a powerlifting comp and you've got all of your max lifts, say it's 820 the total, you probably need an 820 to get an 800 on the day. Like, you're not going to come in and perform 100% on all lifts on the day. You might, but in most cases, like most people look at the 820 and they're like, I can do 820 in training. I'm going to do 840 on the day. And it's like, bro, it's probably 20 kilos in the other direction. Like, you're probably going to do 800 on the day or like, whatever number it is for you.
I think especially as stronger and stronger you get, like, someone who's maybe not as strong, it's not going to have as much of an interference. When you've just squatted 285, that's going to do something to your deadlift. Whereas, if you're squatting a lot less than that, it's not going to have as much interference. So it becomes a bit more to play with there, just in terms of balancing it out.
And I think like the biggest thing as well with that ties into like putting the pressure on yourself is like don't get 820 in your head, come into comp and expect 840 and then let yourself down with I got 787.5. Like get 820 on the day and expect 780 plus or aim for 780 plus, and anything above 760 you should be happy with, you know what I mean? Especially if your comp PR total is, which mine was 720 from the pre-comp. So it was way lower. So realistically, I should be happy with anything over 720. But what I'm trying to say is training PRs higher than what I got on the day. But I think it's necessary to have them higher to come in on the day and, you know what I mean, do what you're going to do, you know what I mean? I don't think that we can come in with 820 total and then actually do 820 on the day. There's just so many variables, the bar being different, you doing the heavy squat, you're doing a heavy bench. Like, we're not training like that in training. We're not doing SBD day where all of them are RPE 10. It's just not happening. So, yeah, that was what
no doubt. Hyper-stimulative environment, there's shit going on. It's a long day.
Yeah.
Like, there's a few factors there for you to deal with and to get that done.
Yep.
Speaking of numbers as well, I think we've had a couple people ask goals going forward, comps going forward. And there's another one. Any heads on the chopping block? Are you looking to take anyone out? You know,
Give us names.
We want names. No, you don't. Do what you need to do.
I don't have names because, like I said, the type of person I am, it's like all in. So once I get something, I want to say it's a bit toxic in my mind like that, like I'm aiming to beat this person or whatever, then those numbers are like everything. You know what I mean? Live, breathe, sleep, and whatever, aiming to fucking get those numbers. So I got no things on the chopping board. I got my head on the chopping board. I'm gonna try and beat my old total. I'm gonna try and do fuck shit. But for this little next, I think 5 weeks, I'm in a cut. Gonna aim to get down to 82, and then the next meet is Pro Raw. So I'm gonna do the wrapped version. I'm not going to wear wraps, but I'm going to do it the wrapped version.
Gangster.
So you guys will laugh at this. The weight class is 95. So that's 5 above what I've ever been. Yeah, so I'll either look like an absolute nugget manlet or hopefully I'm jacked as shit at 95, but I don't think we've got enough time to make that happen.
When's Pro Raw meant to be?
April,
March.
is it?
March.
April again? March.
I think they moved it earlier, like a month earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, 95.
You think
It's
about your
gonna be
schedules?
fucked.
That'd be mono.
What's that? Mono again.
Yeah.
You can wear knee wraps, deadlift bar.
With that, I think some people might have a question about that, and I think I know the answer, but you can obviously confirm for us. Is the reason you haven't been doing knee wraps is just it's too much of a fuck around with training and stuff like that? Or?
That's one reason. But anyway, so
knee wraps, yeah.
So knee wraps. The one reason is because like I got to get someone to wrap my knees. I got to learn to wrap my own knees, and I'm just learning how to use a mono lift and how to use a deadlift bar, and I just think it's a lot at once. To be honest with you, I'm not going to be competitive with the knee wraps on either. Like, I'm not going to win if I wear knee wraps, and I might take this back in the future, but I just reckon it's a little bit equipped, and I really like sleeves. I reckon the sleeves are, that's me doing the lift. I reckon the wraps are just a little bit of help. Sorry, guys, that all wear wraps out there. Got nothing against it, you guys doing it, but just for myself, like, I'd like to just continue in sleeves for the time being. I reckon it's fucking OG as fuck, and whoever's head becomes the chopping block and come for you in sleeves.
Circling back to you mentioned about like picking out certain people or numbers and having like everything in your being like focus on that. Is that something you want to save and then like not tap into and just maintain this kind of like I'm just going to roll with the punches, chill attitude? Or do you think sometime soon you're going to really have some numbers in mind and really like go all in on the fucking approach?
I don't think I can ever do it again. I think that the amount of power it takes up here to do that is now in the business. And I don't think I can deprioritize the business and prioritize training to that level anymore. And nor do I think it is necessary. So I think that I train better and I get better results when I'm enjoying the process instead of just putting all that pressure on myself. I mean, it might have some benefits, but at this point in my life, it really does burn the candle at both ends, and I don't want that candle to fucking shrink and me to feel like shit, you know what I mean? Because I've been there a few times before, and I see my clients go there, and I see lifters go there all the time, and they're burning the candle, and it's like their first or second meet, and it's like, man, if I can tell you guys one thing, it's have fun, don't worry about the numbers, because you're going to do another meet, and you're going to beat those numbers, and then all the stress that you put on yourself to get those previous numbers, they don't mean shit to you because you just got the new numbers and no one gives a fuck about your first comp numbers. You're just going to keep chipping away for the next 5 to 10 years. If you don't, and fucking do whatever the fuck you want, but you probably won't because you focused on the wrong things. But if you guys really want to enjoy powerlifting, 10 years, chip away. Don't worry about the numbers. They're going to be there in 10 years. You know what I mean?
I think you're taking energy away from training if you're steaming yourself trying to chase this. And what you say it all the time is that you can't force
adaptation.
Can't force adaptation.
Yeah, well, actually, that's a Mike Teixeira one. But yeah, you can't Mike Teixeira, he's like a philosopher of powerlifting. But yeah, you can't force adaptation, only facilitate it. But I get what you're talking about is like, I went through that as well early days, like put so much pressure, got to hit this number, got to get that number. I remember we used to get into punch-ons in the gym, arguing about who was stronger, who was going to get there first, who was this. And it's funny how like years down the track now, I don't give a shit about any of that. It doesn't matter, but I enjoy training more than I ever have before. Yep. But funnily enough, when you said before you know, having fun, you actually did better. Yeah. I feel that right now with my training. It's like I actually enjoying it, just being more carefree with it. I'm doing better, and it's just more enjoyable. And the thing that I want to say with the people that in their first couple comps they put pressure on themselves is no one actually cares. It's a not sad will, but no one cares about your endeavor as much as you care about it. Like nobody cares.
I think to sit on the fence there as well with that statement is, I think it's good and bad what people do. Like I did it my first few comps, you know what I mean? I did it for the first fucking 7 comps I did. Put all this pressure on myself, and that got me in the gym. That created this habit. That created this lifestyle. I was able to eat. You know what I mean? I put all this pressure on myself. I started tracking calories. I started training 4 times a week. I started getting 8 hours of sleep. And I think that having that initial, I guess, attachment, that my identity was attached to powerlifting. I can't say that I would still be in this position if I didn't go 100% in on it. I'm not sure. I feel like that was a stepping stone to realize, all right, I don't need to go this hard now. It's already a habit. I already do these things. You know what I mean? And then just try and find ways to enjoy it. So yeah, I think that there's good and bad to it. But we obviously really commonly see people go to the point where like they'll PR on the day and they're not fucking happy.
That's what I was saying. More came from the point of it becomes toxic. Yeah, that there's all this pressure on themselves that they don't actually end up having fun and 100%. Enjoying it because they hit a PR, but it was 5 kilos below what 100%. They wanted to hit.
And so I think it's about the balance.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to go there. Yep. Like sometimes you got to experience how it feels to not enjoy something that you should enjoy. So you're like, all right, I can see the behaviors around that are causing me to fucking hate this thing that I love doing, you know? 100%. To not do that or to be aware that, you know, hyper fixating on this number is taking away from the enjoyment of training. Yep. That's stress that's taking away from recovery. Yep. You know, there's things that, like it's not, we can all sit here going through it, especially you guys going through it and being like, that actually wasn't conducive to progress. But I think it's that experience it's probably allowed you to be like, you know what, that was really shit. I'm probably not going to do that again. And going forward, you rectify that mistake. It's like, how do you know the fucking candle's hot without touching it, you know?
I think these conversations are also...
Like that one.
A bit of philosophy there.
Yeah, philosophy in that.
I think that on a t-shirt.
I think these conversations are good as well for the listeners as well to just see our sort of insight as well. And you know what I mean? I think I've done, 10 comps now. And you know what I mean? If you're listening to this and that sounds like you, like, trust me, just put a little bit less pressure. Make sure you do the basics and stuff, and it'll happen. You'll enjoy the process way more.
I love what you said before, Jase. And just to tie it in for like maybe like the non-powerlifting listeners, it was a conversation I had last week with one of my clients, and she is very disciplined with her training, puts a lot of, you know, effort into it, always just trying to put her best foot forward. But then she was finding that in those weeks that things didn't move as well as they usually do, she was kind of getting a bit down on herself, and she was realizing she probably needed to practice a bit more self-compassion and, you know, be a bit nice to herself. And she was saying how the fact that she is so focused on doing the best, you know, training can be a problem. And then what I post her is that's all correct, but at the same time, it's a good and a bad, as you were saying. Like, the flip of that is you just don't care about your training or any endeavor and you never get anywhere. So that middle ground is, obviously we want to be really focused, and that's great because that gets us places. But at the same time, we do need to learn
when to pull back as needed.
And it's a tool we need to have, because if we never come into anything with that mongrel and that, like, I'm going to get this done, we're probably not going to get anywhere as well. We've got to find that balance.
You've got to, I reckon you've got to be able to use that rigidity at certain times. So like if you love a Saturday and Sunday night session, you're getting fucked up. you probably want to be focused on not doing that. Really use the rigidity for those sorts of things. Instead of like, I need to hit 260 today in training. It's like, man, just fucking hit the RPE. Yeah. And if it's lower than last week, you're probably going to be heavier next week. Like, just fucking ride the wave.
Use the rigidity when you need it. Like,
and be disciplined on a Saturday night, or be disciplined when you've got no appetite and you don't want to eat. Fucking eat. You know what I mean? Like, use those things at the right times. You know?
It's that the stoic approach, that you control what you can control and don't worry about what you can't control. So
isn't stoic
stoicism?
Isn't that like when you struggle through things and show no pain? Or am I wrong?
Well, it's like a stoic mindset sort of thing. Like, it could probably be like that. Explain like that. Charlie could probably explain it better than me.
Sort of. But it's the crux of it. If I was going to explain stoic philosophy to someone in 10 words, it'd be control what you can control. And don't worry about the things you can't control. For example, going out on a Saturday night is well within your control. You could either go out, drink 15 drinks and go to bed at 4 a.m, or you can go to bed at 10 p.m, 11 p.m, and get a good 8 hours sleep. So that's within your control. When you rock up to Monday and you got deadlifts, whether X weight, 250 kilos, moves at RPE 8 or RPE 10 is not necessarily within your control. What's in your control is picking the right weight. That is, your coach has prescribed you an RPE 8 single, hitting an actual RPE 8 single. So
what's good to understand as well is, if you don't get fucked up on Saturday night, that may allow you to hit whatever it is in the training day. You know what I mean? So all these other things play a bigger role than you coming in and just hitting that single at the weight that you think you should. It's like sleep, food, even your mindset is like probably more important than actually hitting that number.
Effort and rigidity works is you have to direct that to the correct places. It's not just about, I want to put this weight in the bar, so I will move it. It doesn't always work out like that. You've got to look elsewhere to see what's actually fueling your progress.
I do think as well, because sometimes, like, listening to you guys, like especially Jase, Charlie, the way you guys attack training, it's like, what will be, that sort of thing. But the intention, like, and for anyone listening to it, I don't want that to be confused with the intention. The intention is still to go in and go fucking hard.
Oh, you've seen us before a session. We've got a number in mind, and we're going for it. And sometimes we do more, and sometimes we do less.
So the intention is there, but the expectation is what will be. What may happen, and I might be going up, but if things don't feel up to scratch, or if I'm not in that position to hit that number, then that's okay. You know, we'll pull back something a little bit lighter. It's within our RPE range. It's still stimulative training. But the intention isn't like, it might be shit. It's like, I'm going to go and hit this fucking hard.
It's maybe good. Sometimes maybe shit.
Yeah, exactly. That's the after. That's all right. Well,
on reflection,
it was maybe sometimes maybe shit. This one was maybe shit session.
But to add as well, like, I reckon we say all this about how whatever happens. That's 100% how I roll with it at this point. But if you see me like a day or two before a PR lift, like, in my mind, there is no way I'm missing it, and there is no way I can let myself miss it. So, like I said, we use that. I don't know what the word is, but
sparingly.
We're using it. I'm using it there. But if it doesn't happen, or something better happens, I believe now I can flip the switch and just be like, it's all good. Like, this wasn't meant to be. Next week we'll chip it or whatever. But before that, like, I don't know about you guys, but you go under a fucking heavy lift. I feel like it's fucking life or death. You know what I mean? So before that, I'm like, you guys have seen, I'm fucking off my head, G'd up. Like, I'm like sniffing ammonia, tears coming from my face. Like, I think that, like, this has to happen. There's no way this can't happen. And that's how my last few warm-ups are the whole time. The whole day revolves around that. You know what I mean? But yeah, if it doesn't happen, it's easy for me now to just be like, all right.
It's the way you deal with it
all
after.
Good, you know what I mean?
The way you put it in your mind. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Not having any emotional attachment to the numbers. Yeah. It's just going. I've become quite robotic, I feel, in that way, in that sense. I just fucking.
Yeah, we've got to slap you around a bit.
No, robotic in that.
Bro, it's a robot.
I'll just go, it is what it is.
You guys have all seen Terminator, where like he gets hit and he just doesn't move, like breaks the cunt's
hand. Man, you alluded to it a little bit earlier as well, and you can't have that same approach to training as you did maybe when you didn't have HUSLA, and it was a question that we were asked. I think it may have been in the Discord. Quick plug for the Discord. If you're not in there,
what are you doing?
Get in there. But they asked, like, especially in coming into competition, a high priority competition, how are you managing both running a business and not just running it and maintaining it, but trying to actually develop that, but also come into some of the hardest training that you're doing?
It's a good question. One of the ways that I manage it is what we've just discussed, putting less pressure on myself so I can devote more of that mental power or whatever you want to call it, that focus to the business. Focus is the right word. That's one way. There are shitloads of times that I can count that I didn't even want to come in and train because I was just sitting on the laptop doing fucking 1,000 steps for the day. Come into the gym and I've got to hit a PR or got to, I don't know, fucking do some fuck shit under the bar, and I don't want to train. So I think if I didn't work on the business, I wouldn't want to train anyway. And if I did work on the business, I still probably wouldn't want to train sometimes, but I'd want to train more than if I didn't, because I find a lot of fulfillment working in the business. You know what I mean? So if I didn't do that, I come into the gym, I just feel shit about myself because I just didn't get shit done. So I think I don't fucking know, guys. My mind's not wired normally. It has to do. It has to go hard, and I put all of that into the business at the moment, and I find a lot of fulfillment in that. More fulfillment than hitting PRs these days. So I don't know how to answer that question, to be honest with you. Just sit the fuck down, get it done, and then honestly, I just have some food, have some water. I don't even know how I get G'd up for the gym. I just get in the fucking car and I drive there.
You just do the usual routines that you do beforehand.
I just get to the gym, just show up. That's honestly how like 80% of the time if I've had a really big day on the laptop, which most days are these days, I just put myself in the car and get to the gym and then just go from there. And plus the gym's really supportive here as well. So like you get amongst it and everyone's like, you know, what's happening, this and that, you have a chat and everyone's kind of get G'd up, you get under the bar and you realize you're strong, you know what I mean? Because like you're not focused on like lifting because you've just been working on the fucking laptop all day. Am I swearing too much, boys?
Go hard, brother.
We're pro swearing.
Go hard, stay staunch.
So I just honestly, my number one technique is just show up.
Yeah. I think for that, what I tell some of my clients too is having start times for the gym. So like you would clock on for work at 9 a.m. or whatever. Yeah. Gym is at 5 p.m. You're going to the gym and block out 90 minutes, 5 p.m. to 6:30 is gym time, because people let it get away from them. And then like they might miss their Monday session because work was too whatever. And then Tuesday rolled and they missed that. And then before you know it, they're doing session 1, day 1. And they're like, fuck it, I've missed half the week, and throw the whole week out the window. Having set specific times that you train throughout the week and have those ingrained into your routine each week is going to be one of the easiest ways to get to the gym. And then, like you said, get to the gym and just start with one set. Once you do a set, probably going to do another one because you're moving, because the hardest part is getting started. So I think that would be, there's some of the strategies that I use with clients.
That's an awesome strategy, and I tell my clients the same thing. Yeah. For myself, I struggle to do that because a day of work could be 8 hours one day, it could be 4 hours the next day, it could be fucking 12 hours, or I could need to take a call that I need to get all this fucking paperwork done for or some shit, or I could just be on my own bullshit and I just want to create this new spreadsheet or this new system or find these fucking metrics or some bullshit that I'm on. And then I can't have like a rigid time for training. I just know that Monday I gym, Wednesday I gym, and Friday I gym. And to be honest with you, last week I worked. I don't even know what time I got here. It was 8 p.m. I only had to do cardio. I tell you what, I did not want to be here.
I could hear. I was up here and I was like, is Jase this late? That's crazy.
Oh man, I did not want to train. And I thought that day would be a lot quicker, but it took ages. And what I'm trying to say is I train on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's my set.
That's your rigidity, yeah.
If it ends up being fucking 7 p.m. and I'm up for it, or tomorrow, like I can't do it tomorrow, I have to do it today. It's just the way it is. I just got to play a little bit less COD when I get home and just have one of those days where you just rinse and repeat and probably no movies before bed or TV shows before bed and just train, eat, go to bed.
Yeah, fucking oath. And I think you got a bank. Like you got years where you know that you train and you feel like a sick cunt for it. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want to train and I got that done.
Yep.
And you spoke about balance, and balance, people look at it like, it's got to be fucking 50-50 split, this, that, or it's got to be 50 between training and working and then resting. But it just doesn't. I don't think balance works like that. I think it's balanced intention. You know what I mean? Like I go hard with work, I go hard with training, and I feel better for it as a result. And then when I rest hard too. I don't know. That's my opinion on it all, and you probably feel better for it. I know I do. And it on paper it may not look
both
balanced.
help each other.
Yeah, exactly. But just knowing that I put in my work, I put in the work that I needed to for work, allowed me to put in better work for training, even though I quote unquote worked more. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. That's what I look at it balance. Like from a balance standpoint, that's how I look at it. Because if you rest fucking half, then train half or work hard, it just doesn't. You're not going to get shit done.
I think we should also add as well for those people out there that may be new to the gym. You can fucking always just do 2 days a week, and you don't have to chase any numbers, and you can, chill with your nutrition and slowly ramp that up. You don't have to, because we're speaking from like a very experienced standpoint where we train X amount of days a week. There's no question about it. We hit our macros and whatever, and we sleep X amount. But if you're just getting into the gym and you're out there and you're listening to this, like literally 1 day a week is a good starting point if you have never been to the gym, or 2 days a week.
Yeah, it's
you don't have to be that rigid.
Very big misconception. We see it a lot when we get, I know I see it when I get beginners come in, I've done nothing. And they're like, I want to train 5 days a week. Let's pull you back. Let's start with 2 or 3. Let's try and let's do 2 and then maybe a third as a bonus or something like that, and then build up from there. Because people think, it's that all or nothing approach. I've got to go 100% into this thing or nothing at all. But you can make a lot of progress off 2 30-minute sessions as a beginner for quite some time before you need to up the training frequency.
I think people see what other people do or what they think other people do, because obviously they see, most people who go to the gym a lot, they train 4 times a week. But what they don't see is that people miss sessions. It happens. But to kind of flip it, like if you were to learn an instrument, you wouldn't be like, I'm gonna play guitar 5 days a week for 30 minutes. If that's not part of your schedule, if that's not part of your life, it's pretty unrealistic to expect yourself to do that. Probably going to start with 1, and maybe go up to 2. Just like with anything, that will be enough to help you see progress. At some point, you're probably going to have to go up to 3, but like you don't have to go from 0 to 100. It sounds so cliche, but just build up gradually, just like you would with anything else. Because it's not just about the fact that you can make progress on less. It's that anything you add to your week is just something else for you to manage time-wise. So you don't have to make it eat out this massive time, chunk of your week. Start small and build up and see how you go.
I've got it.
Yeah. I was just saying, I think the unfortunate thing with the fitness industry is that a lot of the quick fixes that are sold to people, challenges, 6 weeks, 12-week, 8-week challenge, whatever.
20,000
restrict,
steps.
Train fucking twice a day, 5 days a week. And this is the message that gets out to the masses when
You've got to do more. You've got to do more.
It's sustainability across. Training is like a chronic process across years and years and years. It's sustainability and what is sustainable for you and your lifestyle. Like for you figured out this sort of sustainable pattern where I can get 3 or 4 good sessions in on these days while still putting a lot of eggs into my work basket. You got to figure out what's sustainable for you and then do that for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, because health and fitness is a lifelong journey. It's not a 12-week challenge.
Yep. I've got something to add as well.
Done a snippet.
You got that?
when I was talking about 2 days a week, I actually completely forgot. But my last prep before breakthrough, I did that whole prep, that whole last 6 to 8 weeks on 2 days a week. Squat on Monday, bench on Monday, dead on Tuesday, bench on Tuesday. It's 2 days a week and PR'd heaps. Obviously up in body weight and all that. But I also did, I'd say the last 3 weeks of this last meet, I did on 2 to 3 days a week. So we had peaked a little early, a few injuries, this and that. So I was only doing 2 to 3 days a week, you know what I mean? And I got fucking way stronger. I think we just all underestimate what we can do in such little time. It doesn't have to be just balls to the wall. Yeah. It can be less.
Yeah, and what you said about, us being experienced with 4 days is almost automatic as well. I think it's not just the behavior of getting into the gym, but it's the ability to modify when we aren't able to get into the gym 4 times a week. And something that I push a lot more to my clients, a bit more time poor, or say if they've got a more hectic week, it's like, fuck the 3 sets, just hit 1 set to a 10, you know what I mean? Like hit that hard. Obviously it's exercise dependent, but teaching that skill of how to modify and say, I've got a 4-day training week, how can I get the most bang for buck but still stimulate adaptation? There's a million different ways to do it, you know what I mean? And you said it yourself, like you can progress on quite minimal if you're hitting it with that intent. But I think it's not just, and this is where I think the coaching, DM for coaching is that plug. It's not just the program, you know what I mean? It's teaching someone how to modify. It's teaching someone how to, if they're on the fly, they don't have the specific exercise equipment that they need that's programmed, how can you modify rather than miss? How can you get in high intensity, high quality training rather than just skip a movement altogether?
Yeah, because how often do you have a client that their week isn't how we was planned it to be? It's a constant thing. Like it's just part of life. And like some people get hard on themselves, or like work's a bit busy at the moment, but that's life. Like there's always going to be other challenges in your life other than the gym. So you're probably never going to be in a scenario unless you're 21 and have nothing else going on in your life where you train at the exact same time, hit the exact same number of exercises with the exact same intensity. That doesn't exist. Unless you're a professional athlete, it just doesn't exist. Life is variable.
That's the majority of our job.
Literally,
we write
helping
programs
people
that do
manage
nutrition,
fucking their life.
That's fucking if everything goes perfectly, and it never does. Like I find myself constantly explaining to someone how they can go out and guesstimate on food, or how they can if they missed a day, how they can manage that, or if they're feeling cool. Like that's my communication. My communication isn't like go into the set, spread your fucking knees. It's fucking not that. It's not that. It's like you squatted really well. Like let's squat for the next year and a half and watch that improve. Like you don't need to fucking do anything except for more squats. Like tell me about your week. I want to hear about your week.
What do I do when it's Thursday?
What are you struggling with?
How do I manage that?
Yeah.
That's where we fucking.
What did you struggle with last week?
Just give up.
It's solving problems. I think for
sure.
helping our clients solve problems. I think that's the majority of our job.
Yeah, 100%. I heard you're in the market for a van.
What's with the van? Yeah.
Have you seen the vlog?
I haven't
The
seen
Sydney
the vlog.
one? All right,
I haven't seen the vlog.
so watch that and
I'll say.
So and subscribe. So my mum does woodwork, right? So we hire vans like regularly to. This is an absolute plug for my mum.
I've got one of her boards.
My mum makes chopping boards.
Me too.
And
It's
they're
dense.
freaking sick. They're like the whole slab's been cut long ways, and it's like a big chopping board, and it's got the grain. Anyway, my mum makes that, but she started making cabinets, TV cabinets, tables, coffee tables, fucking you name it. She made it from wood. Handles the wooden hammer on IG.
Suss it.
Her name's Eleni. She's the best mum in the world. So she's hired vans for years, right? And they're the most practical fucking thing on the earth, right?
I love vans.
You can put people in it. You can put fucking stuff in it, and they're huge.
You can put people and stuff in it.
It's nuts, right? So having done that for like helping mum deliver stuff and helping her install it and stuff for the last how many years, I've grown a love for vans, right? So we hired a 12-seater van. We went to Sydney, and I was the DD, the designated driver. So we had eight or nine of us in the Airbnb, and a 12-seater van, right? So I just thought to myself, like, this van is everything. It's getting us from A to B, and if we need, on the last day, we checked out 10 a.m., had a flight at 8 p.m. So if we need, we can just chuck our suitcase in the back as well. There's plenty of room. You know what I mean? So I think a van is just really practical, and I'd love to have one one day because I feel like I would utilize the shit out of it. So that'd be the third car. You know what I mean? Like you got your four-wheel drive sports car, and then you got the van. You know what I mean? And the van can do anything. You know what I mean? You can help your friends out. You know what I mean? You can do mad shit with the van.
Yeah. Well, this brings me to my next question. And you put up an Insta story the other day, and some say it might be you going to the next level. I look at it as just an excuse for you to get that van. HUSLA gym. What's the go?
Yeah. So it's happening. Kept it quiet for a little while whilst I was running some numbers and making sure everything was possible. But it's fucking happening. No question about it. We're looking to take that next step, and we're going all in. It's going to be fucked. Like, I don't know. If you guys know me, like, I like to just do shit proper. So going all in with the equipment, the space, and all that shit, I think it's going to be a really nice space for our current team. And I think it will add to the service. We'll be able to run one-on-ones with powerlifting equipment, which is what we're currently lacking. At the gym that we work out doesn't have proper powerlifting equipment. We'll be able to do more group sessions. Like, we like to also just enjoy life and Saturday nights and stuff. So we want to run some events there. So I think it's going to really add to HUSLA and the service for our team. as well as creating content and plus like I want to go prime Atlantis for the equipment. And you guys know me, I love range of motion and I love just shit that fucking moves well for machinery. So honestly,
Best of the best, huh?
yeah. And I need a fucking monolift, man. So I'm gonna buy a couple of them.
A couple? Fuck.
I need one for me, and
then
then
one for everyone
someone
else.
else can use that as well. But if it's just me squatting there, I own the gym, and fucking Joe Blow came in to use it, and I'm like, nah, I can't fucking wait. It's fucking my gym, you know what I mean? So got to have another one there just to show that we're facilitating for more than just myself. Yeah. Plus, I want to open up to that market a little bit as well. Like I'm in that federation now. Where we use monoliths and deadlift bars, so I got to have some equipment that can facilitate for those people. So, but yeah, I think the question was, tell me about the gym. Yeah, is that enough? Like, it's going to be fucking off its head. We're about a year away. It's going to be fucking cracker. What else can I say?
Plug. Did someone help you with the numbers? I'm trying to fucking push you to a shout out here because I know he listens to the podcast.
The king.
Free
Sorry if
Kings.
that's too loud.
Free Kings.
Yeah, so, yeah, my financial advisor, Three Kings. I think, honestly, guys, I apologize. There's a plug in him, but I don't think he takes on new clients anymore. You can try. But the man is
Our financial advisor. We've all fucking
our
got it.
financial advisor. Yeah. Charlie's extremely new.
Extremely.
Me and Buzz are fairly OG to this.
Yeah,
I reckon I'm about 6 weeks in.
OG's brother. Saw your life out.
Yeah, he's a king. He helps me with some business stuff as well. And obviously just being amongst Jamie Smith and doing courses with Kyle Trainer and stuff like that in the past, that all helps. But so far I've had like actual help from Ryan and yeah, just spending hours on a spreadsheet.
Yeah,
Just
I
calculating
think learning about your money is. I used to be scared of money, like big time, like fuck it, to the point where I'm like, I'm not learning about shit. I'd barefoot of it. Oh, fuck that. But it's like such a stressor alleviated when you learn about it. I don't want to go too deep into it, but yeah, I don't know. I found it good for me. Where's Hustler Gym going to be?
Yeah, I think just to touch on before we change subject then. So the biggest thing...
Touch it today. All right. Well, if I go.
So it sort of worked in the opposite direction for me. So I did the course twice with Jamie, the coach development program. There was a little business element in there. And figuring out how to run the cash flow for the business allowed me to start budgeting properly for my personal. But I think it should work the other way around. So I think that we should be 18 years old and budgeting. Yeah. Or 16 or however the fuck old you are when you start making money. You should be budgeting.
You should be fucking taught this in school.
Yeah, 100%.
High school, like these basic financing. Because even like the Barefoot Investor, that when I first moved out of home, that really helped me a lot because it's like, all right, bills are this much, put it away, extra saving, extra spending. And just like even that on that simple level was so helpful to me moving out of home. But we're not even shown that basic shit at school. Because it's a skill. It's a fucking skill.
Everything's backwards now. We're a designer. You're a rich cunt. You got no money in the bank. You know what I mean?
You gotta earn that designer.
Yeah. Ryan will love this fucking part
designer
of the
is a designer is a fucking it's shit.
No good.
Doesn't
Different strokes for
no,
different folks.
I'm not saying it's,
Who's got designer?
I don't own any designer. I'm just saying.
Shit. I'm not saying
Not yet.
it's shit. I'm not saying
Not
it's
yet.
shit. Where you're
There's a
designing, I'm
coach in there,
saying it's not
maybe.
a reflection of wealth.
Yeah.
No, it isn't
At all,
No.
because it's not hard to buy designer stuff. Both you and I could go to Chatston today and buy multiple designer things.
Yeah, Charlie's got money.
Multiple. Emphasis on multiple.
Multiple.
No, and for sure. That's a thing. Different strokes for different folks. I think you're talking like financially illiterate cunts will fucking go throw down a designer for the pretense that they're loaded.
A lot of rich cunts just wear
Same as
casual
cars.
clothes, man.
Oh, bro. I used to work like Bayside, Sandringham, and some of the richest clients I had would rock in like you would not have any idea. Not any idea.
That's probably because they're good with their fucking money and they're not just blowing it on designer. But
It's, cars as well. Cars are not an indicator of wealth. Too.
Oh no, they roll in with AMG, but
it's a write-off.
You can go finance
It's
a
a
nice
write-off.
car today.
No. You got to write that off.
You got a full-time wage. You can go finance a nice car today, and you can look like a baller. But Are you a buller?
Look at
Yeah,
the
you're a
I-30
weasel.
on I-30 on 22 inches.
Kia Rio.
Fuck it.
Nah,
Carsales.com, Kia Rio.
everyone's free to do what they want to do. If you want to take this shit to the next level, reach out to Three Kings. He's closed. Probably won't be able to take you on.
Mate, can't
Barry
take you
Chatham
on.
is a mad dog. I think he's closed, but
Yeah, but you know the guy at the door, so you know. Fuck it.
yeah, I mean, reach out, tell him the fucking
He told me
boys
he was closed when I signed up, but he pushed me up because of the boy.
It's all
because of the
marketing.
boy there.
It's all
So-
marketing.
It's that
I had a word to
scarcity
him. I had a word to him.
Did
Only
you?
one spot.
Because he said because I was a direct referral through you two and obviously Marcus as well.
Actually,
just
I
so you know,
think that's
Jase.
no. To be honest with you, I think that's the thing, guys. I think that's the thing. I think at the moment to get on with him, you have to be referred by one of his currents. I think it's a really good system when you're at capacity for him and his business because he's getting people that they're not shit kickers.
television,
You know what I mean?
television.
They're
too.
actually ready to
You got
go.
Television.
Yeah, they're actually ready to go.
When are you projecting? Have you got a rough date, month? Not a specific date, but a month.
Prime Atlantis takes 46 weeks minimum to be made and delivered. So you can probably bank on as soon as I buy the equipment, the next few weeks, we've got, I'd say, a year. You know what I mean? And that's provided that there's a bit of risk here, right? That's provided that I can find a warehouse. If anyone out there has a fucking warehouse, 500 to 700 squares, hit me the fuck up. Or if you know someone, hit me up. I need ya. But anyway, so that's provided that that's provided that I can find the warehouse within that time frame. Get in, fit it out, equipment arrives, we open.
There's a lot of moving
Because
parts.
there's
where are you going to store the equipment if you haven't got it in time?
I got a contact.
You got a contact. I was going to say how many pieces of fucking Prime Atlantis have you got coming in roughly?
Fuck. My favorite, I don't know, like 10, 12. But my favorite one, put on my story last night. It was a fake Atlantis at Muscle City. It wasn't the proper one, but the power squat.
Oh, that thing looks ridiculous.
Man,
Is that
I
from which
cannot
row?
wait till it comes.
Muscle City.
Is that like
Muscle City,
is that a
Bentley,
fucking like V squat
Just check.
variant?
Oh
sort of
no,
thing?
no one's gonna be able to see my story now.
Is it a V squat?
It's a power squat.
Power
Called
squat.
a power squat by Atlantis. I think they got rip off machines. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Pretty much, it's like a hack squat, but it's on a hinge,
Yeah,
and you face towards the hinge. So
Looks
it's
pretty gangster.
literally like a loaded front squat machine. It's off chops.
Yeah.
crazy?
was getting
That's a vertical squat, man.
Bulk quad stimulus. Like my quads are going off chops and not really much else.
Off chops.
Or you can fuck that exercise as well, guys. Don't let your hip shoot back and just back it up.
Yeah, you got to fight
That's
to
all we're
keep your
doing.
knees forward.
Man, that's what we're doing in powerlifting. We're just using every muscle we can to get it up.
Yeah.
That exercise, use your damn quads. Get your knees forward. Stay the fuck upright and do it propers.
100%.
You know what I mean? You don't need fucking 10 plates aside. I'm talking directly to a bunch of people that follow me. You know who you are. Stop fucking putting 10 plates on either side and doing fuck all range of motion. Get your knees forwards, do the exercise properly, and lift heavy in your fucking SBDs. Come on, guys.
Fucking
go.
oath. And the same issue happens with heel elevation. If you use a heel elevation, you can shift your way out of it. And
You can still not execute it properly.
100%.
Oh, yeah, you can still shoot the hips back. Yeah,
easily.
100%.
I think you got to shift a bit more from like midfoot because I think midfoot pressure more applies for a low bar squat, a high bar squat with no heel elevation. But because of that heel wedge, it tips you onto the toes.
You got to get in the heels.
You've got to get in the heels a bit more.
Yep.
And you can definitely shift away from the quads. But
I think just to add one more thing because I just ripped the shit out of some people.
them harder, bro.
so you
harder.
got to ask yourself, why are you using an exercise? What is the purpose of that exercise? And if it's for quads, don't let the hips shoot back and use your glutes, hams, back, and all that sort of shit to get it up. You don't need a good morning of quad exercise, right? Second thing I wanted to say as well, if you want some help, fucking reach out. Look, send me a video of your lifts. I'm happy to help you. And I'm sure all the boys are here. as well.
or drop it in our form check Discord.
Link in bio.
Get on my story. Link is in there.
Yeah. Or just sign up to Three Kings.
He'll help you out with your technique.
the plugs are rolling.
Imagine Ryan gets
Heavy plugs.
Ryan
heavy
gets
plugs.
like 40 fucking.
There's a few
inquiries there.
brands flying here, guys.
We're gonna train after this. The boys and I.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Use my-
We're flying Ryan in.
We've got
as
to.
well.
We're gonna use
City
we're flying
Strength,
everyone.
free shipping to over $200.
What's that, Charlie? Maybe say that
Codes in
again.
my bio. Free shipping for City Strength. You want to buy any shit like that from City Strength?
What do they sell? What do they sell?
SBDs, SBD apparel, Nike Rum layers, SBD belts, all that stuff.
What's the deal?
It's free shipping over $200.
That's not bad.
What's the code?
It's not bad. The code is in my bio. Quantum_lifting. While you're there, give me a follow.
All right.
He won't follow you back.
All right, no, I want to ask the next question. We're moving over. We'll move away from the gym, and now we're moving. We've got Brutus as a Sydney sider.
Yeah.
We've got to ask him, what did he like about Sydney, if anything?
Rip Sydney.
Yeah.
Or didn't like about Sydney?
Yeah, no. Okay. Sydney's nice. No. It's nice.
It's all right.
It provided the van.
He started with, it's nice, but...
No. There's no but. There's no but.
but.
Sydney was nice. We went for a holiday as well. It wasn't just the comp. So we went for a holiday. So that made it even nicer. You know what I mean? Had no commitments. Took my first week off work and doing updates in fucking 4.5 years. So that was nice. It's a little bit stressful when I got back, but it was nice. And everyone was real supportive. So this has got nothing to do with fucking Sydney, does it? But yeah, it was nice.
No, it's all right. You can lead into
There
it.
was so much shit to do there. And
What'd you do?
we went to Bondi.
Yep.
We went to this other beach called, it was like near
Coogee.
Coogee. Yeah, went and saw fucking a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Like 5 or 6 people that we wanted to see. Went out to Brazilian barbecue. I forgot what the name was. Off its chops, by the way. I don't know if you guys have had Brazilian barbecue before.
Nah.
Okay, so we went with Ryan, 3 Kings. Shout out, sign up, all that sort of stuff. The King and Gemma and CJ, the little one. So he's got his wife and kid. And I didn't know what the fuck we were in for, but literally, I don't know about you guys, but when you go to a restaurant, you sit down, you look through the menu, you don't even know what the fuck you're reading for the first half an hour. You're talking, you didn't read. They roll up, and you're like, shit, I haven't even read it. You know, that's me. I don't know about you guys.
That's me every
Right?
time.
There's no menu, man. They just walked around with food. It said, "Do you want some?" And they just cut it off a skewer and just give it to you. It was like
mad.
it was like nice, salty, like meat. Obviously, like had to bank some cows for that. Nah, I didn't fucking track for those days after comps.
Take scales with you to dinner.
No chance. Never done that. Never will.
Nor do we recommend doing that.
No way. No way. So cracker food, Brazilian barbecue. And we also went to this old place called Butcher and Farmer, and it was like nice food as well. Day before the comp. Mickey told me not to eat out. I ate the fuck out.
Cop that.
My weight was Mickey Mouse leading into the comp, so I was like, you know, she'd be right.
No dramas. No dramas. Beautiful.
But yeah, Sydney was good. Tom, Sydney was good. Loved it. Definitely be back. See you next year. Breakthrough. Beaches are wonderful as well. Back beach, not like a bay like we have. So proper waves, real blue. And I love fishing. Love it. Right? Grabbing something out of nothing. You know what I mean? So I was looking at the water and I was like, fuck, it would be real good fishing here. But I couldn't fish. Because I would have gotten shot by everyone else that was with me. But yeah, cracker, Sydney nice.
Is there
Marcus
anything
loves
you
fishing,
didn't? Is there anything you didn't like about it?
The roads was off chops, man.
Yeah, because
Like I was driving a van and like
Jamie.
cunts were fucking like I was like doing the limit plus, you know what I mean? Plus a little bit, and like
And the rest.
and people are like swerving in front of me. The lanes are small, like. There was so many weird turns and like there were just fucking cars everywhere and the whole place felt like the whole thing was a city. It was like buildings fucking everywhere.
That's Jamie Smith's biggest qualm as well. And every time we go, he always drives because he's the boss man.
It's different to here. Very different to here.
But he loses it over the traffic and the parking and he like implodes.
Oh yeah, we heard him.
hates
We
it.
heard him lose it about on the latest vlog, second latest vlog actually, part 1 Sydney. Jamie was talking about how he didn't want to bad buzz us, but we're not going to fit in any car spots. And I'll tell you what, I parked that shit out of that van in every car spot. It was like easier to park than a normal car.
It's a Choco skill. It's a Choco skill. I know you've commented on me when we've been in the car together. The one hand, no look, reverse parallel.
Yeah,
You got
yeah,
to fucking
yeah.
stick it in.
Yeah. If you're a wog and you can't drive, you're not a wog.
Yeah. All right. Next question. What would you do differently in starting HUSLA?
This is a question and a half. This is a question and a half.
3/4.
So do you reckon I should answer this like purely the brand HUSLA or like me starting in the industry? Like how far back do we go?
Oh, I mean starting Hustler
Hustler.
as a brand.
Because if we start from there,
Take us on a journey there. Just go for it.
yeah,
Do what you
I think
feel.
most of you guys have heard this, but if we start from the beginning, I was working at Good Life. That was pre-Hustler.
Yeah.
Right? That was eating shit at Good Life. signed the dotted line, locked in for 6 months, that sort of thing. Was getting no leads. Target market was not there. We're missing that part of the story if we now talk about HUSLA. What I would do differently, I was lucky to be surrounded in the industry by like some solid business owners, Jamie being one, and these boys being real supportive as well. But I think the number one thing that I see, because I help some people with this stuff as well, when it comes to, because a lot of people have questions about business and all that sort of stuff. Number one thing that I see, which I did quite well, but I could have done it better, is not knowing your numbers, not knowing your margins, not allocating money to where it needs to go. So end of year, you end up with some sort of tax bill. This is something I did well, but I didn't go as deep as I do now with these numbers. And that would be, I mean, it's a hard question to answer because I wouldn't want to go back and do anything differently. I just want to fucking go back and do it as I did it. I would do it the exact same again because I learned these things along the way. And for someone who struggled in high school and was shit at fucking everything that you put pen to paper with, like any sort of task, like if I had given myself these things to do back then, I would have struggled. I had to find that motivation by succeeding and then wanting to learn as a result of this is working. So for the people out there listening, I think this question to me is because someone wants an answer, right? So if you're out there listening, you want to know what you can do in your business to improve it, and you're at those early stages, know your numbers, track your numbers, like get it all down on a spreadsheet. Can help you with this if you need a hand. Always happy to chat over Messenger or whatever. Do that stuff and figure out what you actually provide for your clients. What is it that you're giving to them? And how can you provide more? You want to charge X amount. You want to give them more value. You want to give them more value than what you're charging. If you can't tell me what you do for your clients apart from give them a program and nutrition, I'd work those things out first, and I'd make sure that your money's going in certain directions for a business owner. But then again, there's a lot of people out there in the industry that are employed, right? And that's why I want to throw this question back onto you guys and ask you guys, what would you guys have done differently when you started in the industry? Because this is just from a business owner standpoint when I started HUSLA, and I started HUSLA when I had one employee. So it's a very different story for me than it would be for you guys, and maybe for the listeners too. So I reckon maybe your guys' stories there might resonate with some people.
Yeah, the old flip back, huh?
Yeah, well, yeah. I'll take over. So, Buzz, you go first.
Thanks. Flip back. You're going to swap seats as well? Go for it. For me, I probably would have looked to speak as myself a lot earlier. You know, like you speak as someone different. You talk about things that don't actually resonate with you. You talk about things that you think you're expected to talk about. Then you're going to attract a different clientele than you actually want. Like you more resonate with people that are similar to you. You know what I mean?
Be yourself.
Be yourself. So
100%. So I'm ripping the F-bomb every second. I can't help it. You know what I mean? Don't suppress any part of yourself, man. People come to you because they love you. You know what I mean? Or like, you know what I mean? Just don't suppress any part of yourself. You're burning the candle at both ends if you do. I've been through the whole thing of saying nothing or saying no swear words and trying to be proper. And man, I was just fucking sad. Like, just fucking be yourself. I fucking love that one, man.
Yeah, thank you.
I love that one. Drop the F-bomb, man. Drop the C-bomb. You go it.
Yeah. No, well, that's what I hated about all my other jobs. And I was like, oh, man, I don't think I'll go forward in this industry because I couldn't wear TNs. I couldn't wear the trackies that I wanted to wear. I couldn't play house music, not even music like that fucking swears and shit, you know what I mean? Like rap. Couldn't do any of that, and I hated it. And then once I actually fell into a place that I could be myself, even then I wasn't being myself. And it was only when I started to do chalk shit, train how I wanted to train, speak how I wanted to speak, that I actually started to attract clients that I fucking love. You know what I mean? Like people that I would go get hammered with.
And you probably have more fun doing it.
Have more fun doing it. Get to do what I want to do.
More motivated to do things as a result. You're enjoying the process a lot more.
Exactly.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
I think that's a good one. Dids?
I think I've got a unique situation because fucking...
What are you laughing
maybe
at?
It's fucking hilarious.
I'm taking over.
You're taking over. It's great. We didn't get interviewed often. This is nice. Nah, I think I've just got a unique situation because... fucking 12 months into being in the industry, I was interning here, and then like 18 months into the industry, I was having a job. So I didn't really do much before here. That's just the crux of it. So all of my growth has been here. So it's all been kind of the journey. And I think the way you kind of talked about it is something I resonate with, that yeah, I can look back and say maybe I should have done this earlier. I should have done this differently, but we got here. We're here now. We're liking where we are, and it was all those things we did that got us here. So I think it's
You kept showing up, kept doing what needed to be done, and now you're here. So, and I think before I get on to you, Charlie, I think that's another thing that I missed out on saying as well, because I talk to a lot of people that are asking me for advice, and they're halfway between just quitting the job and going to another job. For me, that was never a fucking option. It was this or nothing. I didn't think I was good at anything else back then. So I think whatever the hell you want to do, those other things I said before, figure out what your clients want, know your numbers, and have a vision and strive towards that. But don't have your fucking plan B ready to go.
Well,
you're about to piss off to it. If this, you know what I mean? Just you got to go fucking all in, man.
That was me, man. That was me. Like I don't know if you guys remember, but I was like, oh yeah, I'm at uni, and I did enjoy what I was doing at uni. But then coaching came up. I'm like, okay, I just enjoyed this more.
I didn't know this story.
Well, I was at uni and started at uni, kind of started doing a bit of PT and uni, and then I'm like, oh, I'll do both. I'll get an office job whilst also doing this on the side.
Chance.
And then I literally remember Buzz in the internship is like, why don't you become a strength coach, man? And for some reason, him just saying that just hit me. I'm like, fuck, why don't I? Like, I don't know what it was, but it took just hearing that to be like, why don't I just fucking do that? And obviously Jamie offered me a shift, and then it was the end of, I think, 2018. He offered me one shift. It was 3 hours a week. I'm like, I'm not going back to uni next year. That was it. I was like, this is it. I'll defer for a year. This is a year to try and see if it can happen. And obviously I never went back.
But that deferral is you leaving that for now,
I could have
so
stayed,
you could give 100% of yourself to this.
I was working at Woolies. I was working at the other group training gym still, and I was doing 3 hours a week here. But I was like, I could have still stayed at uni. Fucking, you don't have. There's not that much time to commit for uni. But I'm like, nah, this is my decision. That I'm not going to do that. I'm 100%. going in. I'm heading this direction. I don't want to be at uni. I want to do this. And 100%. That was the moment where I'm like, nah, this is what I'm doing. Versus like, oh, there's a plan B. Like, and I think we were talking about earlier, like how with PT there is a really low barrier to entry, and there's pros and cons, but like I think obviously the skill set matters, but also just having the desire to keep going. Like yourself, you could you were struggling a good life, I remember, and like you could have just fucking walked away because it was fucking hard, but you wanted to make something of it, so you stuck at it. And what happened? You fucking you're successful now. So yeah, the skill set is gonna help you become a good coach or whatever it is, but it's also desire to. No, I'm gonna keep going at this.
Go 100%.
I'm making no money. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna I'm gonna keep showing up, and I'm gonna improve. And then what do you know? You make something of yourself.
Literally the same thing as gym. You just keep doing it for 10 years.
100%.
That's it. And I think just sticking your neck out, putting yourself in the situation to go all in, because people look at like, what are the 3 things that you would have changed? And it's like, well, the problems came up when they came up. You know what I mean? It's like you've got to actually stick your neck out and go all in for those problems to arise, and then for you to organically find the solution to fix that shit.
Because you haven't done anything, there's no problems.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, all right, I'm going to apply this shit to fucking nothing. It's like there's nothing there to apply.
Well, I'm going to do all this learning, but I coach no one. So like I know all this stuff, but where am I fucking putting it into practice? Like it's a bit twisted,
So, Charles, your turn.
So I agree with the if I had to change anything, I wouldn't change any. Similar to you. It's like I'm not going to... It all happened for a reason. What are you fucking two laughing at?
Apparently my fucking gut was out the entire time.
Is that what you were laughing at before or me?
No, I was laughing at you. But just then is I pull your top out because I think there was a bit of gut poking out. Charles?
So I wouldn't change anything either, the way it built, because as you said, the problems come up when they come up. And whether, it's airy-fairy, everything happens for a reason. But if you look at it with that mentality, then it does happen for a reason. It's like this happened at that point because I learned this lesson and it transitioned me into that person. And then this problem happened at that. And then, we can look at COVID as one of those things. It's like the time it sucked. We hated it. We were fucking all miserable. But there's some big lessons I learned out of COVID. I learned a lot, how to spend a lot more time on my own, how to just like chill out and relax a lot more. I don't have to be going a million miles an hour all the time. But anyway, so back to... I started out in the industry similar to Didier. I didn't really actually want to work in this industry. I wanted to do my degree, and my plan was to do my master's in teaching. For some reason, I was drawn to being a PE teacher. I don't know. I just thought, cool job. I think I'd like that. Again, it's something sport related, hence why I think I gravitate towards this a bit more, because it is sport / health and fitness related. Did my time at our old studio in Hampton with Jamie. He was there for about 4 years. I was there for a year and a half. And then Jamie just dragged me under his wing. He goes, I'm opening a gym. Gets back from America, I'm opening a gym. Crazy. I've been here since day one. I feel that I have only started to really find my rhythm and what I actually want to do and what I want to be in this industry in the last few months. I felt a bit lost, to be honest. And a big part of it has been watching Buzz as well, sort of go down his avenue of this is what he wants to do. And it's made me question myself a lot. I don't want to be this powerlifting coach anymore. Just this, and because a lot of people look at me like that. Will I coach powerlifters?
Same.
Yeah, will I coach powerlifters? 100%. I'll always coach powerlifters. If someone wants to do a powerlifting comp, I'll always do like that. It's not all or nothing. I'm not fucking cancelling out. It's just I don't want to be
just the powerlifter.
Yes, I don't want to be just seen as this powerlifting guy. And the last few clients I've signed up have been like full-blown beginners. And I'm actually loving it because I'm teaching them the basic shit, but I know that I'm making a change to their life and I'm making their lives better because I think health and fitness should be something that everyone has access to and should be able to learn. And us being people that understand it pretty well, have had a fair bit of experience, should be able to share that information with people. And I went through this evolution. This is the one thing I would change, but again, I wouldn't change it because if I changed it, I wouldn't learn the lesson. I went through this thing of like, I started coaching a few powerlifters. And when I say a few powerlifters, it's because I was doing comps, a few people at the gym started doing comps. And then we started to post a lot more about powerlifting and we got a lot more powerlifters in. A lot of beginner powerlifters and built some up like that. And so we started having this image of powerlifting. I started thinking, I want to coach. I want to be like coaching national level lifters and I want to attract all these national people and this and that. And that'd be the one thing I'd change because I don't actually want to coach people like that. I want to coach everyone.
You will.
No, you will naturally.
But that's not your end goal.
No, I do have national level lifters right now. Yeah. I do.
No, he hates you.
No, I'm not great. But that's not the target market I want to push towards and only attract. I want to.
You want to spread.
I want to spread. I want to have everyone. I literally just want people that want to fucking train and want to be better. And like I said, the last few clients I've signed up have literally been beginners or starting out in health and fitness, and I'm literally teaching them the basics again, and I'm actually enjoying it. And this is also why last week I spoke on the podcast. I want to start training more for myself, not for power. So when I say train for myself, we spoke about triathlon, starting to run again. I want to start doing those athletic endeavors that I used to love when I played.
You're going to run?
100%.
Wow.
Oh man, listen to fucking Alex Viada.
That's a heavy step.
110
Dude,
kilos.
That's a heavy stride.
So I was like, fuck it. It was actually, I spoke about this last week. Dan was the one that pushed me over the edge. And he was like, but I want to start doing some of those athletes. And I want to set some goals towards, doing a triathlon and getting my powerlifting total stronger. But learning more about that field so I can actually help people in that field. Because I do have a lot of clients that want to try that stuff. Because I think, and this is a big rant, but the biggest thing I've learned is that everyone wants to dabble in everything. No one wants the guy that's going to do powerlifting for 5 years, 8 years, 10 years is very rare. Yeah. That you don't get people like that. There's a very small minority. People come, they want to do 1 or 2 powerlifting comps, and then they want to start riding their bike, or they want to get a little bit more conditioned to run, or then they want to go back to a powerlifting comp, or then I want to start playing soccer again. Like, you need to be equipped as a coach to handle all those things, and that's the lesson of.
Yeah, I think to get someone to 5 years, knowing how to program long enough to keep them enjoying this shit
with that variety
to sustain 5 years of powerlifting.
Yes,
it's not like you powerlift 9 months of the year. And then you do that for 9 months of the year, and then it's the next 9 months is just running. Like it's just sustenance. Anyway.
And when I say like I'm running, I'm going to start literally, we're talking walk run. So I'm going to do 30 seconds run, walk for a minute, do 10 reps of that, start with that once a week or twice a week. That's it. Real basic shit, progress from there. But even like, I'll throw someone out.
Do you remember the gate touch?
I can't talk. Who, what?
Do you remember the gate touch?
Gate
I remember the gate touch in the old gym.
Culture 1.0.
Oh yeah, that athlete. Yeah, there's only like 8 people on there,
and they're all fucking 6'2".
You were close.
I was close. Too short though.
If you were a bit taller. Yeah. Ollie George, one of my clients, weapon of a powerlifter, strong as fuck. But even he's feeling the same. We're going to get through nationals, and then he needs an off season or a period where we focus on different qualities, do some other shit to make it fun, make it enjoyable, and I can guarantee he'll probably transition back.
This is where hypertrophy just fits perfectly in with my team. Hypertrophy, body composition focus, just shifts the focus away from squat, bench, and dead so much.
Yeah, and then even for us, it's like the jumps, the med ball throws, the conditioning, the challenges that we've been doing, like fucking Copenhagen plank and
Sled,
stuff,
all that
sled, all that stuff, because you can incorporate that into someone's training and make it really, really fun.
I got most of my lifters now doing some air bike.
Air
Once or
bike,
twice a
incline
week,
treadmill.
Yep.
It's all fucking.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's all fun. All
So
tools, all fucking.
I don't know
things that
what
make you
my
a better
lesson
coach.
was in all that, but it
Yeah,
was something.
The lesson was do what you fucking want to do.
The body's
and not
an
what you're
animal,
expected
man.
to
Use
do,
it.
and that. All right. We've actually been going for a bit.
Not long enough.
Not long enough. I reckon we could go for hours. There's a couple more questions in the Q&A.
Hit
I'm going
me.
to give you 60 seconds to answer. All right? Quick. If you didn't powerlift, where would you channel your energy athletically? Jiu-jitsu. Punching on.
I don't know.
Nah? No?
Don't know.
Hopscotch.
It'd be in the gym, just getting big.
Fishing.
Getting swole.
Fishing's
but
a
that's-
sport.
Yeah, but nah.
Speedboating.
Nah?
I'd still because I started out like probably had a fucking eating disorder in like fucking year 11.
Sorry to cut you off on something serious.
You know
You've
what
got
I
30
mean?
seconds, mate.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I started out hating the way I looked. Wanted to get shredded. It was in the Ziz days, that sort of shit. So I wouldn't be fishing. It have to be something to improve body composition. I'd just be lifting.
Yeah. Biggest traps in
What's
the
the next one? Quick, man.
This is hard with the context, but how would you try and drop body weight as a big powerlifter whilst trying to preserve total?
How long I got?
You got 35 seconds.
All right.
33.
All right. Cut hard at the right time or cut gradually over time.
Yep. Sorry, Lambros, you're gonna have to DM him, bro.
And last question, ask him if he's a fuckhead.
I asked that question. Yes.
All right, hectic. I think we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna go train now, and we're gonna be using some of those low, medium, or high stim subs from Elite Subs. So make sure to use the code Culture10 at the
Crazy.
checkout because they've got some mad shit there. But that's it, Jase. Where can the people find you?
Heaps of places. eSaints_STOUPAS Instagram. HUSLA _coaching is coaching brand on Instagram. HUSLA _lifting is gym accessory brand.
All the shit will be in the bio.
I made it.
Thanks for coming, Jase. We love you.
Love
Catch you
too,
later.
boys. Cheers, Count.